You're listening to the City Podcast. Unadulterated, non-politically correct, unfiltered, real talk. The city from the inside out. With your hosts, Chad Cranston and Steve Mealing.
Welcome to the City Podcast. My name is Steve Mealing.
Yes, and this is Chad Cranston.
Our special guest. Well, I guess it's not a special guest. It's the guest.
The guest.
The guest?
That would be you.
Okay. Thank you for having me.
Kojo Easy Damptey.
Yes.
How do you spell that?
Damptey.
Damptey is French?
No. It's African.
Is it? Okay,
Yeah.
well, I'm just asking the background than the last name.
Yeah.
So how do you spell your name?
The last name?
Yeah.
Damptey.
Oh, Damptey.
Damptey.
There we go. So
Speak
if someone's
French?
looking
No.
up your name,
No French. I hated French.
most people do.
So thanks for coming on the City Podcast, man. Thanks. Your label contacted us, and I like the music. It's very interesting.
Okay.
You have a very diverse format of music, very wide range of music, very international.
Yeah.
But you got your little hip hop influence on that as well too. A little bit of soul in there as well too.
Yeah.
Live band.
Yeah.
How many pieces to the band yet tonight? Because you're just coming off performance tonight, eh?
Yes. Yeah. So we had a 7-piece.
7-piece.
Yeah. So drums, bass, guitar, keyboards, backup vocals, and saxophone.
Nice. How was the performance tonight? How'd you like?
It was good. It was good. We were at the Bird Rock.
Okay.
Yeah, it was good. I think I had maybe like 2 people that I know that came, and the rest I don't know them. They just showed up.
That's what it is.
That's what you want, right?
Yeah, so they liked it, and it was nice to see the person that I know. She came because she saw me at. I was here in July. I opened for Fela Kuti's son. He came here in July, Femi Kuti. So
yeah?
Okay.
Yeah, so
his son, okay.
yeah, so I opened for him
Wow.
at the Opera House. And,
That's a big gig, guy.
Yeah, it was fun. It's
bet you
nice.
it was.
It's nice playing in front of like 1,000 people. When they clap, you can like really feel the energy. Yeah. So, so she saw me. She saw me there. She loved the music, and so she came out again. So
That must have made you feel pretty damn good. Huh?
yes, it did. It
As an
did.
artist.
Yes, as an artist, and she bought some CDs. She came with another friend. So yeah, that's
It grows, huh?
yeah, that's the kind of support that's always interesting and you want to accomplish as a musician. So yeah.
So you're getting your music out there is one thing, but being able to express yourself in front of a live audience, that's a completely another thing, right?
Yeah, it's another thing, but I mean, I like it. I think that's for me, my music is a little expressive. So
Yeah.
that's the easy part for me. The difficult part is getting it out, out there, But in terms of my live performances and stuff, when people come to the show, they know they're getting an energetic show.
And you give them 120%.
More than that.
What? That's not even possible. He's laughing it up. So you don't even know. I'm like, I don't.
So Daylight Robbery.
Yes.
Why did you call the album that?
So I'm a big fan of concept albums that tell a story about themes and ideas that have influenced the person that's making the music. So Daylight Robbery was just like it was just a collection of songs that talked about how society tends to take things from people. So yeah, it's Daylight Robbery, and it happens like every day, whether it's in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. So yeah, so we called my first debut Daylight Robbery.
Did you for the album itself? Is it telling a full story?
Yeah, like all my albums tell a story. The first album, Daylight Robbery, did that, and then the upcoming one, which will release on November, is also telling.
We got another one coming really soon, actually.
Yes. So
November.
yeah.
It's finished.
So that also tells a story. And the new one is called Giants, Stories of Existence, Resilience, and Resistance.
Giant stories of existence,
resilience,
and resistance. Do you
Yeah.
believe that there were giants back in the day?
Yeah, well, not literal giants. The way
There is a subculture.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Photoshop stuff on the internet, but there's also a lot of, there actually are a lot of people that believe there were actual giants that walked the earth.
Yeah.
And it's a cultural thing in some places.
Yeah. And the giants I talk about are more like historical figures that people of color don't know about, right? That have changed society, but then people of color don't know, and even white people don't know about, right? So it was inspired, this upcoming record was inspired by 19 individuals. James Baldwin, Thomas Sankara, Nina Simone, Myra Makeba, Angela Davis, Marielle Franco. I can keep on going. So those are the giants, right? Like they've done so much. Like if we take Marielle Franco, right? She's from Brazil, Black, queer, and she ran for office. She changed her community in terms of fighting for Black people in Brazil, and changed policy. But then she was assassinated, right? But people don't know that. If you take, for example, Amilcar Cabral. He was also an agriculturalist, an engineer, a political activist, a nationalist for Guinea. He helped fight against colonization in Africa. And he wrote a lot about colonization, its effects on Africa, and what the future should look like for African countries. But then most Africans don't even know about him, right? If you take James Baldwin, there was a recent documentary that was done about him, and people got to see how of a deep intellectual person he was and how he was critiquing America during the civil rights movement. So the album touches on all those different things and showcases them to kind of say, hey, look at all these people that we never talk about, but we always talk about, like Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King, in Canada, Sir John Macdonald, Trudeau, the first one, not the second one, right? Like we in our minds, we always have certain people that have done,
So they say history is written by the winners, right?
Yeah, so
it's kind of that situation. But at the same time, like it's crazy to have this conversation, but I won't go down that hole. But you know what I'm going to pretty much want to talk about. It can be also erased.
Yes.
So in the sense that within a generation, indoctrinated to believe in one way, it's gone. Do you know what I mean? So having it live on, so books may be burned, websites may be erased, or blocked or banned, videos, etc. But it can live on through music, art, the arts in general, I guess, really. And that's maybe that's where the deeper meaning of culture, arts being in the culture, you know what I mean? Stories are passed on from families to generations, you know what I mean? That used to be history.
Yeah.
It was probably more trusted now than what you'd read in a book almost, because it's the people who lived through it and passed it on, right? Rather than a recollection. But this is pretty amazing that you're actually as deep as you are. It's refreshing more so.
So what's you moved to Toronto in 2001 from Ghana.
Hamilton.
Oh, sorry, Hamilton. Sorry.
He's sticking to the Hamilton. He's like, don't even label me as GTA.
The hammer.
You're like, Toronto? No. GTA? No. Hamilton still Hamilton.
So it's been 17, 18 years now. How did you guys manage to choose Hamilton as a place, or how did you manage to choose Hamilton as a place to move from the other side of the world, pretty much?
Yeah, well, I mean, my parents, they just wanted me to experience the world. Because when I was in high school, I never wanted to leave Ghana. I had my girlfriend, I had my friends, and I wanted to stay in Ghana. I never dreamed of leaving. Like, I that wasn't in my plans. But, my parents wanted me to experience life outside of the country. They just said, you're moving to Canada and you're going to Hamilton. Like, they didn't give me a reason. They didn't.
Sorry, did your parents move here?
No.
Okay, so
I moved.
you were sent here.
Yes, to go to school at Mac.
So you were going to university. Copy
yes,
that.
Yeah.
Good.
So
McMaster, and they just helped push you in a direction that they felt was...
Yeah, they felt was...
How do you argue with that, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I was just, 17, so what can you say? What are you going to do?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. It's a pretty solid investment your parents made, that's for sure.
Yeah, so I moved, went to Mac. I wanted to leave. I've always wanted to live in Vancouver. When I had to make a decision about where to go to university, I wanted to go to UBC. But my parents were like, no, that's too long of a distance if we want to come and see you. Because if...
It's an extra 6 hours.
Yeah, and it's just. So they're like, why don't you just stay in Hamilton? I was like, But yeah.
Negotiate. You should have said, I'll meet you in Toronto.
I could have, but I don't think I applied to U of T, so that was another thing. I think I only applied to Mac and UBC. They both said yes, but I just...
Master's it's not a shabby school by any means.
No. Yeah, no. It's pretty good.
What did you take there, out of curiosity? You didn't say it right away, so I kind of let...
I took chemical engineering.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So there's a reason why they sent you across the world. It's because they knew that...
The opportunities.
Well, yeah, you're a smart guy. They're like, we're not sending him out into the wilderness. This guy is going to have a proper education.
Yeah, so...
So do you find yourself... Are you working in your field now, or is music full time?
So I do music. You can call it full time. But yeah, when I finished, I did work. I worked for an engineering firm for a bit, but then I didn't like it, and then also I had to decide if I wanted to go back home or stay here, and I'd spent a long time here, so I figured I might as well do my permanent residency.
Yeah.
And obviously, when you're doing that, you can't work. So I used that time to get more involved in music, right? Because you wake up in the morning, you can't work, you can't do anything. So
you can't smoke blunts all day.
You have to do something. So
well, you don't let me finish that.
Yeah.
You can't smoke blunts all day and sleep. You got to do something.
Yeah.
Unless you're into indicas. But so let me ask you this: have you always been involved in music, or is this something you stumbled across? Like choir or...
So, I mean, when I was a kid, my parents always played different types of music in the house, right? So I always loved music, but I never, it wasn't on my radar. I just listened to it, my mom would travel and I'll be like, hey, can you get me the DMX CD, Then she comes back with it and there's explicit stuff in here. What kind of explicit stuff? I'm like, man, don't worry about it,
It's not NWA, we're good.
Yeah, and then, they listen to kind of the old school stuff. But yeah.
Boogie Down Productions?
So.
He's laughing it off. I'm telling you though. BDP.
So music was part of growing up, but I never felt like I could make it. I was spending time, with girls in school. That was like kind of my thing when I was young. So
has it changed? Is that still your thing?
It's changed. Yeah, no, it's changed a lot. It's changed a lot. So when I moved, I moved to Mac, and just by being involved in school, you realize I just saw that some of my mates were like playing music and stuff, and I was like, oh, I didn't know that anyone could just, play music, right? Yeah. So I'm like, okay, maybe I should pick an instrument. I should choose an instrument, and then just like when I feel bored with doing calculus and thermodynamics and stuff like that, I can just like relax with learning an instrument and stuff. So I picked the piano, and then I just kind of self-taught myself. And
really?
Yeah. So then that's how the music thing started, started doing beats on Fruity Loops.
Yeah, Fruity Loops.
Yeah.
That's good.
I'm dating myself, but
that was the worst program. But I think Deadmau5 actually helped design that.
I mean, it was good for someone that's starting. At least I thought it was,
No, I worked on the same program. That's why I'm laughing. It really was kind of horrible.
So
raw.
But then, then I got into sampling.
Hell yeah! Did you get an MPC?
Yes, I got an MPC. Yeah, I mean,
Did you get the XL?
Yes. So did that and wrote some songs for a couple of people. But then I realized that my songs were gearing towards more like, political stuff and more deep stuff. And the people I was writing for, they were asking me to write for, they didn't like that stuff. So I was like, you know what? I'll probably just do it myself. Yeah. So then I started performing and.
So where was your first gig then? In Hamilton? Would have been in Hamilton was your first gig, correct? Or did you...
performing, yes. Yeah. But, actual playing keyboards and stuff, it was all over the place. I played in a band before I started actually performing.
So as you, I'm saying?
As me, yes, in Hamilton. I wanted to start...
Smoky bar? Was it a coffee house?
No, it was like
talent contest?
No. No, actually, it was a festival. It was an acoustic. So it was just me on piano, and I had a friend who was playing acoustic guitar. So that was our first gig at Bayfront Park. And then the next one, I think it was at a venue somewhere downtown, but that place is closed now. But yeah, it was fun. So,
I'm just like, it's such a crazy story. I'm just digesting, just so you know. You're like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, I want to break from calculus and thermodynamics. So I got to pick an instrument. So I just picked piano, taught myself how to play.
More of a savant? Is it more of a diagnosis?
Just so you know, that's not normal. When I'm sitting around on board, I'm like, I'm kind of tired of searching YouTube and walking the dog. Fuck it. I'm going to design rockets.
Yeah.
Right. On bus number. I can give a shout. I'm ready.
Well, when you do engineering, right, it's like all those equations and stuff, to just take a break from it. You want to do something that's like, I went clubbing. No, I'm not saying, I was having fun, but it's like, what else can you do that can challenge you to learn something new? Like, that's how I
wasn't to express yourself. It was more to challenge yourself.
Well, at first it was just to learn it. Just to say, play a couple of chords, or my favorite memory growing up as a child was when I saw Marvin Gaye play What's Going On, right? And
live?
Not live, but some of his videos, right?
Yeah.
And there's one where he's just sitting behind an acoustic piano, and the guy's just playing, and I was just like, man, this must feel real good. So I just wanted to experience that. I saw videos of Donny Hathaway too, and then I read about his story and what he went through, but I could just sense that their music had this thing. It had a thing. I don't know what it was, but you could just feel it. So, and then when you start listening to their stuff, then you just realize that, man, these guys were making music on a different level, right?
Yeah.
Like when you listen to a Curtis Mayfield record, you're like, this kid, yeah. So So I just wanted to experience that. So I was like, okay, piano is, at least in my estimation, the easiest instrument to play. Acoustic guitar, you get, you might get some calluses on your fingers. Bass, same thing. Drums, oh my God, that's too much stuff to be hitting on. So piano is easy.
Did this have anything to do with your old fallback habits of when you're back home? And the only things you were interested in when you're back home were what? You said it over and over again.
Girls.
Right? And so fast forward how many years across the world in Hamilton, and you didn't just decide you need to pick up an instrument to challenge yourself. You're like, maybe if I get an instrument going, it'll be a lot easier to get me some girls. How honest are we being in conversation?
To be honest, I felt no. I would say no. I mean, I have my game. I'm confident in my game, but the thing was that I didn't have that smooth voice. I'm sure if you listen to my songs, it's not like a Barry White kind of thing going on, or Marvin Gaye that can go ultra.
What's going on?
Yeah, falsetto. Yeah, that's not my thing. My thing is harsh, in your face, So it wasn't the girls. My game is tight. I'm confident.
Questioning your game. You're staring me down. I'm holding my ground. That's great that you're telling me your game's tight. I didn't question you about that. I'm just saying, did it have anything to do with the fact?
No, I don't think so.
Because I like to have a toolkit there. You got something you can dig in there.
Yeah, but you have to also have to have the voice. You know what I mean? You have to have the voice like a Leon Bridges or Daniel Caesar. You have to have that.
Those are great artists.
Yeah,
your music references are spot on. I love all of the guys you're talking about. So.
Yeah, I don't have as a smooth voice.
You got a smirk though when you're playing the piano. Do you give a little smirk? What's up? Because we all know that's the game right there. Oh, this whole thing.
Remember Billy Joel in a smirk?
Yeah. All you gotta say is, this is what happened. He's surfing the net, and then he's like, "What instrument do I pick up?" And he searched into piano, girls, and he got boom. The number one story everybody should know. Billy Joel. Probably one of the not most attractive gentlemen in the history of rock and roll, known for playing what? The piano. And was married to the most beautiful woman in the world at the time, Christine Brinkley.
Oh, Brinkley, that's right, yeah.
Now you're smiling at me because we cracked the code, didn't we? So, with that said, the power of the piano.
Yeah.
You know how to tickle the ivory? And a little smirk? That's all Billy Joel did. Tickle, and a little smirk. Hey? And he's got Christy Brinkley.
Yeah.
So that's how you end up. Okay, that's the truth how you got to the...
Okay.
Why you went to the piano.
We'll stick with that.
Yeah, we'll stick with that.
You can use that on future interviews.
All right, I will. And then I'll reference you.
Look at this, that jackass?
So you got a wide variety of artists that have accompanied you on a lot of tracks from around the world. Mm-hmm. You have a Syrian artist that was on one of your tracks that I listened to.
Yeah.
And I felt that as well too. It's very heartfelt. Why did you manage to go that route with the artists? You could have picked up any artist from Hamilton, Toronto.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's, like I said, I think sometimes for people of color, we tend to be isolated in the experiences that we go through in life, right?
Yeah.
So it's important to kind of join those and talk about it, right? So we know what's going on in Syria right now.
Yeah.
And so some of the things that are done, like Mother Tareka, the Syrian artist, we're kicking it, talking, and I was like, the CIA kind of, had assassination plots against Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, who was like the first president of Ghana.
Right.
And he was like, man, the same thing happened to the first president of Syria, right? So it's like stuff like that, we never talk about it or we don't know, right? So having a collaboration like that kind of crystallizes it a little bit for people that are listening to the song and just us as artists, right? So that we can see that, hey, man, there are things that we thought are happening in our own countries, but we didn't know that they were happening everywhere.
In the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Right. So in a time right now when like music, it's predominantly hip hop and want to say trap, mumble rap, SoundCloud artists, a lot of that. There's not, you still have your international artists doing things worldwide, but the mainstream is rarely convoluted with a specific type of frequency and sound that's going on right now. It's definitely not a conscious sound that's going on. You decided to go a totally different direction with your music. Did you ever consider infiltrating that type of market and making it part of what you do as well too, so you can grab that grasp of the younger generation who don't know, not getting a conscious level from the music, or not getting a heartfelt or just plain old feelings from the music itself?
Oh, that's a good one. I feel like for me, I still have to be authentic. Right. Yes, those are
authenticities right now. I am 100% with you on it. But did they ever ask you to change authenticity? Like, because you mentioned before that they didn't like what you were writing about before. To change it, you went solo, independent on your own.
Yeah.
Is that because you felt that there is no other way for you, Kojo, to be able to do music other than what you feel inside, is your gut feeling, your conscious feeling itself too, and the intellect, the knowledge that you have to be able to present your style of music internationally? Well, I don't even know, there's not really much of a category for, because so many different ranges to it.
Yeah, and I feel for me that's the most important thing, right? Like, you have to do you and not let the outside forces kind of dictate what you're doing. And also I realized this, and maybe this is just me being naive. It's like music has this thing where it's like a document that's done, right? Yeah. So I could be dead 50 years from now, and then someone might see it somewhere and be like, man, this record was so good. Yeah. I'll give you an example. Mac Miller passed away. I didn't listen to his stuff, right?
Me neither.
But a friend was like, man, you need to listen to this guy's last record.
Yeah.
So I was like, he's like, no, just, listen to it. And so I took some time off, put it in, got headphones and listened to it. And I was like, man, it's a great record.
Yeah.
It's musical. It's him. He's talking about issues where he was dealing with as a person, as a musician, as someone that was suffering from depression, drugs, addiction, talking about his mental health, right? He just poured his heart in the record, and you listen to it and you can tell that, man, this is like the best stuff I've listened. So now I'm like, man, this guy really did some great music. And even that, I don't even classify it as hip hop. Yeah. Like I was telling my friend, this is just music.
It's music.
And I hope and pray that eventually people will listen to my stuff and that's what they'll also say. Because sometimes when it's just music, it just cuts across gender, age, sexuality,
race,
continents, whatever it is. People just listen and like, man, this guy is like a musician. He's on point. Like, that's why I want my music to just, So whether hip hop is the thing or trap is the thing or R&B is the thing or, pop music is the thing. Like, I just want to like pour my heart into the music, make the best compositions that I think express what I'm trying to say, put it out in the universe. And if people dig it, they dig it. If they don't, they'll find something else.
So are you the politics that you talk and you discuss a lot of, is this something that you're truly internally interested in getting that information outside the music out to more people?
Yes, for sure. Like, I've always felt that, music, like, I know that this might be difficult, but music really can change the tide of things that are going wrong in society, right? The classic example is the civil rights movement, right? Like, music played a huge role in changing the tide, right? You had Nina Simone doing songs like Young, Black, and Gifted. You had Maple Sisters singing like gospel tunes, right? Like, you had people contributing, and that becomes the soundtrack for a movement, right? But these days, we just make music, right? And music hasn't like altered. Well, I would even want to say music with a purpose, but like music that critiques society, right? I've mentioned, particularly Black artists. Let's take white artists, Bob Dylan, right? He critiqued society, right? So these days we don't have that many artists that do that, right? And when you don't have that, then we have what we have in today's society. Like, I'm not saying that art solves or music solves all the problems of society, but that also creates like a mesh point or an alternative to understand some of the issues that are happening in society, as opposed to just politicians dealing with it or citizens deciding whether they like this or they like that. Like, music plays a role, right? So that's how I see it.
Mm-hmm. That's a good perspective to have on it. We talk a lot about music now, and like, we're obviously from an older generation, and I can just appreciate what the kids are doing. Like, I get more. I'm into Migos. I dig the Migos boys. It's probably about it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Some of the J. Cole, obviously, as well, too, very conscious coming up. And there's that new kid, J. Quan. You got me onto him on Instagram, a young, thin, black guy.
I don't know how to pronounce his name.
J. Quan.
You know what?
And who picked him up? Was it Wyclef Jean?
I can't remember. You know what, dude? Like, he got a lot of love.
No, the guy from Black Eyed Peas. Will.i.am.
Yeah. Okay.
So I don't know. I think that's not. I'm not sure if it's becoming something of consciousness, even with T.I. going that direction. But you can Boozy Badass. There's a lot of artists that are actually starting to talk a lot more about conscious society values, and not just being like, say, where it was in the 90s or early 80s, where Public Enemy was specifically pro-black. You have groups.
They were super political too, though.
Super political. X-Clan. Brand Nubians. We can go on. Professor X. We can go on and on. Black Moon. A lot of them are predominantly pro-black, but now we're looking at society where it's like more of an social economic situation. It's not just blacks. It's everybody. It's whites, blacks, Chinese. Well, not really much Chinese.
Well, there's a very big socialist push going on in the States right now. And it's where its origins are and all that. We won't get into any of that, but it's bubbled to the surface. You know what I mean? It's real. It is real.
It's really real.
It's beyond real. It's like turning violent. People aren't really thinking for themselves. And actually, you're starting to see a lot of the hip-hop artists, which is completely contradicts itself. Like, I'll give you just an example. Like, these guys are making millions of dollars. Or I shouldn't say these guys, because that's politically incorrect, these artists, because they really are artists, are making millions and millions of dollars, and they're pushing an agenda, which is an elitist program, you know what I mean? And the people who are following their music are the ones that aren't in the elitist category. They're in the lower category, right? And even as an example, like the politicians, what was that lady's name who won in New York? Cortez? Or,
Yeah.
Do you know the girl?
Yeah.
The recent one in New York?
Yeah.
Underneath Cuomo?
No. The Como one is the girl from Sex and the City.
But that's another.
She lost.
She got screwed, but that's another program altogether. But this one, Cortez.
Yes, I know who you're talking about.
So she's fully pushing a socialist agenda on a Bernie Sanders kind of approach.
Oh, so she running?
Yeah,
she won.
She won, dude.
Yeah.
She took out a guy that's been around for over 10 years or 15 years.
In New York.
Yeah.
Again,
okay.
She is kind of playing the old, I'm a poor girl from Brooklyn, but she came from a middle-class family. Her father was an architect. She went to Boston and was fully educated. She just did a photo op today. It was floating around the net, where she's hanging out with a construction worker for a photo op. She's got like something ridiculous, like a $4,000 or $5,000 outfit on, like full-on designer outfit.
Yeah.
Like, praise on that whole elitist mentality is like, I can wear this, but you guys, you guys.
But I can associate.
Almost comes from the old, you didn't build your own business mentality as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think. And I think maybe those are the discussions that we should be having. Like, I don't mean like today, but I mean like in society, right? Like,
and that's what's kind of happening through the music. Like, it's penetrating.
Because even I would say I would even say that I don't think she's socialist though. Like, when you talk socialist, we are talking like what's his name? We're talking Raul Castro and Fidel Castro. Like,
Cuba,
like that's like real social and pre-Vietnam, wartime. Like these. But I wouldn't even. I think it's more like I would describe it more like capital liberalism, right? Yeah. It's where you talk about liberal ideas within a capitalist framework. So then you are not actually like talking about free healthcare or whatever it is they talk about. They're just using the capitalist ideas, framework to go out and campaign and do politics, right? So that's why I always feel like the left always does that, right? So this
is the worst system ever, whatever. But they're navigating and using the tools of that system to improve on their own agenda, etc.
And then eventually, when they get elected, they don't do anything, and then people get angry and they kick them out.
That's like a neo or crony liberal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, do as I say, not as I do. How many times have we heard that growing up? I sure heard a lot.
Yeah. But I mean, I think the arts and music is a way to kind of like not do more of the finger pointing and the shouting, and more like do it in a metaphysical way, right? Like when Marvin Gaye sings what's going on, you are not concerned about whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, liberal, conservative, what have you. You're just like, man, this sucks. Let's change this, right?
Absolutely. And what the hell is going on?
How do you have such a positive outlook on this?
How do I have because people...
You're really strong about these blues.
Yeah, because people have they have dignity, they have love, they have a want to be better. So we just have to stoke those things, right? And not stoke fear, scarcity, what's it for me? What about them? Like, generally people want to do good. People want to be there for each other, but certain systems kind of tag on our wrong emotions, so we get all riled up over something.
Brain.
But so it's that dignity in people that I think the arts and music kind of like tags on, and then hopefully you hope that will give people inspiration to like change their ways or think about things different and maybe have some conscience.
Very cool. Very cool. So what's in it for the future for you?
Well,
you have your new album coming out.
Yeah, so the single dropped today. First single dropped today. Album will be out November 2nd. Trying to get some shows. Hopefully, we get some nice promo and publicity to get some shows going Canada-wide. And then see what happens. I take it month by month, day by day. Yeah.
Breath by breath.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
You're just about to get ready to go into full swing to promote your album. A tour happens after you promote an album. If you were to choose 3 supporting acts, dead or alive, doesn't matter. Let's all pretend everybody's still alive.
Okay, sure.
What 3 acts would you have tour with you? You could be in support of them. They could be in support of you. Yeah. You could rotate it the whole tour.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's a global tour, so it can be from wherever.
Stevie Wonder, Janelle Monáe, and Janeda.
Janeda?
Yeah.
Why do I know that name?
Yeah. Those 3. I think those 3.
Would be one heck of a party.
Yeah, it would. Janelle Monáe, because she's very creative. She thinks outside the box. She presents music in a totally different way. Stevie Wonder, he's a great...
Stevie Wonder?
Well, because I listed 3, right?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay, Wonder, Stevie Wonder, yeah. He's still alive. I like to jam out with him. And then Janeda just... his roots are from Nigeria, so it would just be nice to chill out with another fellow African musician and just pick his brain too, because he's done the magic of mixing old school African music into modern hip hop, contemporary pop music culture and whatnot. So yeah, those would be the 3.
In parts of Africa, house music's blowing up.
Yeah,
it found roots years ago, but it's actually It's got some interesting things happening. Has that crept into the culture, in Northern Africa at all? Or
it's everywhere. And that's the thing too with...
It's been embraced,
that's and that's the thing with that's the thing I love about Africa. You would think that certain things are not being done, but when you travel and you meet people, there are very interesting things that are being done that nobody knows about.
Yeah.
In Ghana recently there's a festival called the Chalewote Festival, and it brings together people from the diaspora, Brazil, China, the States, Canada, and they all congregate at around where the slaves were left in the by the castles on the shore, and they just reimagine all these spaces with art and music and DJing and skateboarding and and those are things that are happening and moving things in new directions, but people don't know or they find out late. So the continent is doing enormous things, right?
Always changing and evolving.
Yeah.
We all are at that point.
Yeah.
Very good.
I think I'm drained.
Well, we reached the hour.
I've got literally my brain's thinking about a lot of things that you spoke about.
It's a lot.
I had to go take a time out because I was because everybody gets stuck up in this, just the web of everything that happens around, and you're like a breath of fresh air in so many different ways. Chad and I will talk about it later. I'll just be you know what? It's just a different perspective. I didn't see it that way, which I think I needed at this point in my life right now.
Yeah.
Just a different way. Sometimes I was going to ask you at one point when you were describing people, I was going to say, it's inherently we're in a time where we forget that as fellow human beings, we're good. People are good.
And I think people want to be good.
But there's just so much hostility and negative energy swirling around right now in all aspects of life.
Yeah.
It's just like to have a breath for air. It's just like, you know what? You're seeing through all the bullshit.
Yeah.
Which is a good change.
Yeah, you don't want
perspective, right?
Yeah, you don't like you said, irony, right? You don't want to be the thing that you're fighting. Or you don't want to be the thing that you're fighting against. Right? So you always have to like have some good perspective and always like, you know, take a step back, believe in people, know that everyone has dignity, right? And everybody wants to.
That was the word. So, I was just like, I need to go think for a second. Because you forget, ultimately, you know what I mean? Everyone's like, it is what it is. Humanity itself is kind of like in this situation where we're at a crossroads where like certain things are left behind. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things that can't be left behind.
Yeah. Yeah.
And kindness.
Yeah. When it's all said and done, you know.
Kindness is the new black.
We all die. Yeah. we all die alone, right?
Yeah.
And we all want to die with dignity.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I got all your links and stuff like that from the label, but like, where can everybody find you?
Website kedmusic.ca, Instagram KD Twitter Easy the Piano Man.
Easy guy.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Easy
right the whole time.
I told you, bro.
I'll figure it out.
Someone asked me where I got that name for, and I told them if you're into Snoop Doggy Dogg, you know where that name is from. I'll leave it there.
Yeah. Easy the Piano Man.
Yeah. All right. First album.
So, yes, he knows.
You remember.
Hold on. You know piano. You know Tupac.
Yes.
You know Dr. Dre.
Yes.
The biggest song they put out was California.
Yes.
Do you know where that piano riff comes from?
His
first name is Joe.
Billy Joe?
No. His last name, Walsh.
Joe Walsh?
Look it up, people. And guess what? There's a certain group by the name of the Magnetic MCs that used it first. And this track was called Funky.
Okay.
Yeah, get it funky for you.
So y'all.
Guess what we got? Guess what we got to do right now?
Okay, so I do have the instrumental for Talking All That.
Oh, this guy didn't forget. Okay, put it up. I think
I'm going to put it to the mic.
Okay.
It'll work.
It might work better on yours because your mic is the furthest away.
Okay, let's do this.
But it's not going to be very loud, so.
Don't worry, I think.
Oh, this is commercial.
For YouTube?
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not.
Well, I'm the ultimate.
Just go with
I'm
anyway.
imperial.
Okay, right.
Well, I'm better, but some don't believe me though. Well, I'm a pro with hot material on your Walkman. Your boxing stereo uno.
That's
A little 1990s hip hop. That's all I have. That's all I got.
All right, ready? No, you got it all figured wrong. No, you got it all figured wrong. Money is the force of our daily lives. Hard currency and of the people's backs. Stock broken shenanigans to tip the scale. You wonder why we're always selling you something new. Yeah, we love profits till the end of time. Your life, I bet, is worth a dime. See all that money of mine. I put it to good use to dodge a crime. My killing all folks for property to generate wealth for prosperity. Your governments are at my heels. You best believe we got them hooked. It's time to join the wagon, or leave you back the wayside.
Off the dome, the 5 fingers of death.
Thanks so much.
No,
It's not Sway in the morning. This is the City Podcast coming out of Toronto, Canada.
What the hell's wrong with your voice?
I'm trying to do Sway in the morning. I'm trying to do
That's
Sway.
why you said it's not Sway in the morning. Anyway, Sway, enough respect, my friend.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome
Always
stuff.
looking up to a guy like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
My name is Steve Mealing, and I put on the wrong track, just for the record. I meant to put on Talking All That Jazz by Stetsasonic.
That's okay. That was good. That was nice and smooth.
But that worked well, I think, with what's happening.
Yeah. That's why it's called freestyle.
Yeah.
This is awesome. My name is Chad Cranston, too, and this is a glorious Friday afternoon.
And your name is?
Kojo Easy Damptey.
Are you the Easy Piano Man?
Yes.
Peace.
Thank you.